Hello, my name is Giuseppe, and in this video we will cover making a transparent banner or background behind text. So let's get right into it. We're using Photoshop 2023, but most of the earlier versions are capable of doing the same thing here. You'll notice in our examples on the left there's a transparent background behind the text, making it pretty easy to see the area that, like on the other picture here, would be virtually lost in a dark area. So this is mainly the purpose of the background, to bring forward and make more pronounced the text. So let's get right into it here and get rid of these and bring in a couple more that I want to show you here. And first, clear the path here. It's capable of making either the rectangular background or the oval shaped, or the ellipse tool is what was used here. And you can use white on black or dark of any color your choice, or vice versa, black text and a lighter background. So let's get right into it now and show you how we can do that. First, we load a picture, and I've got several here. We'll just pick one and use this one. It's a picture of mine, and it's in a park called Bayless Park. So we'll go for our type. We're set up with our color selector here on white, and we'll use the white text. We can reverse that if we wanted black, just by hitting the little double-headed curved arrow there, but we'll keep it on white for this particular one. And select our regular horizontal text tool, and we're set here for regular. The script, of course, is important. To choose the one you like. I chose Script MT Bold Regular, but that's personal preference. And 60 is what I have for a size for the text, but that varies, of course, with the resolution of your picture. So we'll get started now and type in Bayless Park Fountain. And that's a pretty good size for our demonstration. Actually, you'd probably want to use it a little smaller for identification, but again, personal preference. So we hit the green arrow to accept that, and now for the background we need a new layer. So we'll go over here into the layers panel on the right side here and go way up to the top. This sheet with the folded corner will give us our new layer. That brings in a new layer, and it's on top of the text. Need to select the text now, and we can use either method of selection up here on the left where our tools are, rectangular marquee tool, or when we click on that we have an option down below here for also the ellipse tool. So let's choose the rectangular selection tool. Now we could surround the text, or an easier way to do it, in case you might want to use a lot bigger area for the text, be to go to the bottom corner here or up here, wherever you want to go. Main thing is to encase the text with our selection there. And once we've made the selection, we go to Edit, and down here to Fill Selection. We want to fill the selection with the darker color. We'll choose black, and it appears that we've lost our text, doesn't it? But not so. That black is over here in the layers panel, if you'll notice, above the text. So the black is on top of the text. Let's take this top layer, left click, and slowly drag it down over the text until we see that single line change to a double line. Right there. Let go of the left click, and the text now is on top of the layer, the background. That gives us a little insight into how the layers work. Okay, now that's pretty stark black. So let's go over here to on the right again to our tools, opacity. Left click on opacity. This is one way I like to change the opacity. You could also type in a different number here, or choose the drop down box and use the slider. Strictly preference. I like to click on the word opacity and slowly go to the left. So notice our black becoming transparent now. So you just move that to the stage that pleases you, and I'll leave it right there. Now let's deselect that, and each one of these would be moved independently if we were to use our move tool and move. You can see where the background moves separately from the text. To move those together and to affect whatever we do together, we go back over to the layers panel, and the layer with the background is selected. Let's hold down the command or control key and also select the text layer. When both layers are selected, then they are united, and if we attempt to move one or the other, they move as a unit, like that. So if we want to affect the text any further, we can go up here to layer, move down to, let's first go over to our text. There we go. Got the text layer highlighted because it's the text we want to affect. So now we go to layer, layer style, and style settings. And with this, we can make several choices here. This shows the direction of the light source coming from the right, going to the left, and that's pretty good for our picture. It'll match pretty well with what the light source is there. If we chose drop shadow, and with the distance adjustment, I'll move it slightly to the right, and we'll start seeing a shadow behind the white text. And if I go too far to the right, that shows it quite a bit. To show you that a little plainer, I'll move the opacity to the right, making the shadow darker. I'll move it all the way there so you really see it. And of course we don't want that shadow that far. So now we'll go back to distance and move it to the left, and when the text is in the position that we're looking for, pleases you, you're driving the bus, stop there, and okay. The size adjustment softens the black shadow from a harsh black to a soft version like that. Go too far to the right and it almost disappears. So for this demonstration we'll leave it maybe just about there on 7. Okay, that's our drop shadow adjustment. Glow with the white text usually doesn't affect it too much. I'll show you here anyway. If we do inner or outer, it's really immaterial. On white, the glow is not too noticeable, but I'll adjust this. If you go too far, sometimes even makes a shadowy effect. So we'll just leave that unchecked and move on down to the next option, which is bevel. Bevel does affect the text, and it makes it, I think it's probably the nicest adjustment in the style settings options. I'll click bevel, and if you notice the text, I'll uncheck it now and watch the text, the difference it made just with that setting of 7. I'll uncheck it now. Now it just looks like plain flat text. The bevel adds kind of rounded edges to the text, and I think it makes it a little more pleasing effect. I think with that setting right there on 7, we'll leave it. It looks pretty good. And of course you can change the direction from up or down. Here's down. It looks a little different. I think the up pleases me more. So this bus I'm driving, so we'll leave this on bevel and up. Now the final adjustment here is the stroke. This adds an outline around each letter of any color of your choice, and we have black set up over here, so we'll use that. And the size of the outline can go from a very fine line around each letter to such a huge amount like that where it'll really go bigger or even too big. So for this particular example here, we'll leave it, I don't know, I think that looks pretty good. That pretty makes the text stand out quite well. So you get that where you like it, you hit hit OK, I'm sorry, and hit click off of it, and there you have it. Now if we join those two together again like we did earlier by clicking on both layers and holding the command or the command or control key down first and selecting both layers, we can still make some changes here. If you don't like this as wide as it is, all you have to do is grab a corner or in the middle of one edge or the other, scrunch it down, move it over, make it big and tall, small and squatty. Okay, now if you want to affect just the background by itself, let's hit the green arrow here. Now we'll go to just the layer that has the background on it, and if we grab the same buttons now, we're affecting only that black transparent, semi-transparent background, and we can scrunch that down to where we want to. You can make the whole business smaller if we join those layers again together, but let's call that right now good. Click off that, connect the background layer by holding the controller command key down and the Baylis Park text. That makes one out of it. We want a nice small title or identification name. We can put it anywhere we want to. On the black it shows up nice, on the white it shows up nice, in the sky, even in a very dark area here like these trees. So that's very simply how you can enhance what otherwise would be conventional text, just flat looking, and maybe this will be handy for a lot of uses you might find besides just naming a picture. So hope it's helpful. Like I said, we were using Photoshop Elements 2023, but any of the most versions will work fine with this. Okay, that about covers that. This is Giuseppe, and I thank you for watching.